What is going on, guys? Soul Sensation back here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Air Jordan 5 Fire Reds. Let's start it. So as these shoes are about to be re-releasing next week, I thought I'd give you guys a look at my pair. I think this is the 2012 pair actually. So we're going to be taking a look at the Fire Red with the black tongue. This is the last time this pair of shoes came out. So here's everything you need to know. So taking a look at the shoe, we have our primary colors being red, black and white. The upper is all leather with a few cutouts for breathability. But the leather on this pair, it's not super good quality. This is from a period of time when they were sort of skimping on the quality of the leather, especially on Jordan 5s. Most of the Jordan 5s around this period of time were not so well done, but thankfully they've changed that. And after seeing the newer great Air Jordan 5s, we know that the leather is a lot better, which is great to hear. But yeah, this leather, pretty stiff, pretty hard, pretty cheap feeling all around though. And then right dead center in the middle of the sneaker, we have this cutout of the leather right here. And this is actually a little rubber cage right here that helps with breathability because underneath is mesh, and it just gives the air another point to flow in and out so your feet don't get so hot. And then close to the back of the sneaker, we have this stitched 2-3, which they actually used to do on the Air Jordan 5s. We haven't seen it in a long time, which is good. We're getting it back with this pair. On the back of this pair is the Jumpman, which is going to change. The newer pair is going to have that Nike Air, which is going to be oh so nice. Finally seeing it again. But yeah, that's just something I should point out. The sole of the sneaker is typical for Air Jordan 5s. This color is primarily red with black on the teeth, the heel, and icy outsoles with a white up the front on the toe cap. Now, the teeth actually are inspired by a World War II fighter plane, if you didn't already know that, which is a pretty cool touch. Obviously, the Air unit is visible up the back. This is, I think, the second to last sneaker from Jordan with the last visible Air unit, so that's cool to see. But then moving to the sole, it's red in the middle with two pads of herringbone traction. Once upon a time, both those pods were icy blue, but now my pair is looking pretty yellow. That just shows the age. Obviously that's going to happen with time, and same thing for the cutouts on the medial and anterior side of the shoe. Another thing I have to point out is that the front of the sneaker, this little pad right here, is super prone to getting scratches and scuffs on it. This mudguard, sorry I should say, yeah, it gets a lot of scratches on it, and this isn't just my pair. I've had plenty of pairs of Jordan 5s and friends and people online showing that it's a pretty common thing to happen. So do be aware that, you know, if you're planning to wear these a lot, they're probably going to not look so good after a period of time, but that's just what happens with shoes. And then the most intriguing part about the entire sneaker is the tongue. Obviously we have the black tongue, which if you don't know, these are the only model of Jordan 5 Fire Reds with the black tongue. All of the others have that iridescent shiny grey tongue, but yeah, I actually prefer this one. Jordan actually did wear this shoe a bunch of times back in the day, facing off against the Lakers especially. I remember him staring down at Michael Jordan with this sneaker on. But yeah, super cool shoe, and I'm glad we're finally getting to see that black tongue back. We haven't seen it since this pair in 2012, as I said before. The laces, there's nothing special to them. They're the regular flat laces. They go all the way through the shoe, and then they're actually held at the top by a lace lock. This means that you can actually tie your shoes up tight and then undo the laces and have them hanging out, and they'll still be nice and tight on your feet. Pretty cool touch. Another cool feature of the 5s is on the ankle area right here. There's this squishy pad on both sides, which is actually for ankle support. Don't ask me how it helps. I don't think it helps that much at all. So yeah, now we've broken down the colorway, let's talk about the history of this sneaker. The Air Jordan 5 was originally released in the year 1990, and they were Tinker Hatfield's third model of Jordan signature sneaker that he actually designed after he took over the line with the Air Jordan 3. And these shoes definitely scream Tinker. All of the design aspects like the teeth, the shape, and the zigzag on the inside speak to Tinker's creativeness and what he was willing to do with basketball shoes, especially in terms of technology. Tinker always tried to push the limits from his last shoe to his next. Here's the Air Jordan 4, and if you just look at the mesh part here, where the breathability is meant to be, you can see how much better it is from the 4 to the 5, just because of the rubber and the mesh underneath of how much more air it lets through, whereas this is mainly just for looks. But yeah, if you want to see the 4 compared to the 5, that's a story for a different video. There's too much to cover right there, but as you can see, they're very different sneakers. But 1990 was actually the year before Michael Jordan won his first championship. So in this sneaker, he was just going through his prime, ready, about to set up his entire career and all the greatness we know. This shoe led to all of that. Even still, there were so many great moments made on the court with these, especially against the Lakers, like I said before. Here's the game footage. So yeah, pretty cool sneaker in history, in culture, and in everything else. Shoe, by the looks, I'll give it maybe 8, 9 out of 10. It's a pretty cool looking sneaker by any regards, and I love that it is in the Bulls colorway, obviously being a Bulls fan. In terms of performance, I'll give it like a 2. You can't hoop in the 5s anymore, but people usually don't worry about that. These are just for casual shoes nowadays. That leads us into comfortability. Comfortability on the 5s, I'll give a 5. How fitting. They're just not super comfortable. I mean, the only technology in the shoe is the air unit in the back. So yeah, not going to be the most comfortable sneaker, but if you can put up with it, yeah, they're going to look pretty cool on your feet. And pricing, I think the newer pair is releasing at 280 Australian dollars. So pretty average. There's not much you can say about pricing. Obviously, we all want the price to be lower, but it's not that $300 price mark like some of the other sneakers were, like the Cement 4s. At least that's there, so I'll give that a 6 or a 7. So overall, I'm going to give the sneaker about an 8 out of 10, which is not too bad. I do like this sneaker a lot, and I can't wait to probably pick up the newer pair. As I said, this pair is aging a lot on me, and it's looking not so good as it once did. So yeah, I will be hoping to get a new pair. But I thought this would just be nice to make a good review, talking about everything you need to know about the shoe. Hopefully that's covered everything for you. And with that, I'll leave you guys to make up your own minds on what you think about the shoe. But yeah, have a great day, guys. This has been it from me, Sneaker. Soul Sensation, man. I keep forgetting we changed. Anyway, see you guys later. Peace.